Hi everyone, and welcome to Book Boop. My name is Rachel, and today I'm going to talk about all the books I hope to read in the month of February. Now, I do have a few books here that are rollovers from January because a lot of the books I picked to read in January were pretty chunky, and I wasn't able to get through as many of them as I would like, but I would like to roll them over because they're ones I still want to read really soon. So let's go ahead and talk about those first. So the one that I'm actually reading right now that I just started is The Dark Vault by Victoria Schwab. This is actually a collection of a duology of the Archived. So that has two books in it. It has the Archived, and I don't remember the name of the other book. But I am hoping to read both of these, this bind up, in February, or at the very least, just read the first book, the Archived, the one I'm reading right now. This story is all about the idea that after you die, your body doesn't decay. It's put in this library of the Archived, and your history is ingrained within you to where you, I guess, specific people, librarians, can like touch your body and be able to see your entire history, like see entire everything about your life. So it's almost like your body is a book that's put on a shelf, if that makes sense. That's all I know about it so far, but that's a really intriguing idea, and I'm really interested to see what happens with it. And apparently these histories, these people can actually accidentally wake up and wander out of the library. So I don't know, it sounds interesting, and I'm excited to see where it goes, but I just barely started it, so I have a while to go. All right, the other one I really, really hope to get to that I was supposed to read in January is Aurora's End by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. This is the third book in the Aurora Cycle trilogy. It is a YA sci-fi epic adventure. I love Amie Kaufman and Kristoff's writing style together. It is witty and fun and fast-paced, and I absolutely adore it. I'm not going to say what happens in what's going on in this book because this is the third one, but this particular series is about this group of misfit like young adults who end up having to be a crew together in space, and they end up stumbling upon some things in the universe where they have to save the world, save the universe, not just save the world. So it's a pretty epic adventure, and I love all the characters. We get to see all of their perspectives. I love them all dearly, and it's so much fun and so fast-paced, and I'm really excited to see how this series ends, but also terrified at the same time. But I'm hoping to get to this one. I was hoping so much to get to this one in January, and it just didn't happen. So hopefully in February. The last one that's a rollover for me is Near the Bone by Christina Henry. This one I'm going to be reading on my Kindle. And this is a standalone adult, I think, kind of thriller novel or horror. I think it actually might be considered a horror. All I know about it is about this home that's out in the wilderness, I think like the Alaskan wilderness. And there is a man and woman that live there together, and I think the man is kind of monstrous, or there's a monster in the woods. Like either he changes into a monster, kind of like a werewolf type thing, or there's a monster around the woods. I'm not terribly clear on that, but I'm very interested. It sounds like it's perfect to read in the wintertime, sort of this isolation, wintry setting. I think there's like a huge snowstorm and they're like kind of stuck and then have to deal with some kind of monster. So that sounds really interesting. I'm hoping I love it because Christina Henry is a little bit of a hit and miss offer for me. So, all right, now let's move on to the ones that I'm hoping to get to in February that I didn't originally plan to read in January. My brain is trying to wrap around all these months. My goodness. Time is flying by. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the ones that I don't have physically, but I will show you the pictures for. This one is probably one of my most anticipated reads for the year, and that is Where the Drowned Girls Go by Shannon McGuire. This is the sixth or seventh book in the Wayward Children series. I love this series so much. If you haven't heard about it before, it is an adult novella series. So all these books are very, very short, and it focuses on portal fantasy with kids. So if you're thinking like Alice from Alice in Wonderland, the Pevensey Kids from Narnia, where they go somewhere and then they come back to our world, the whole idea is it centers around this school for wayward children where kids will go to this school to kind of cope with the fact that they have been thrown into a magic world, are now back into our world, and trying to deal with the repercussions of that and trying to adjust back to normal life. A lot of these kids really wish they could go back to these magical worlds because they feel like that place is their home and not here. And it just sort of cycles around with all these different kids and their stories. This one sounds really interesting. I'm really pumped about it. I think it focuses on a girl that went to like a ocean mermaid type world, and she's now come back. It sounds really fascinating. I'm very excited about it. The great thing about this series is you don't necessarily have to read them in order. Like the book that was before this one, Across the Green Grass Fields, that one was complete standalone. It was a character that had not been mentioned anywhere in the series so far, and it was just completely encapsulated by itself, so you could just read it on its own. And this one may be like that too. I think this girl was briefly mentioned in one of the other books, but I don't think like it's hinging on all things that too many things that have happened in the other books in the series. So I'm very excited to read this. I'm excited that it's nice and short. These are so much fun, and I really enjoy them. So I'm excited to read the next one, and it just came out in January, I believe. So I'm very pumped to read that one. The next one is I'm going to continue my read of Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. That is the second book in the series. It's called Exile. I read the very first book in the series in January. I'll do a full review of that one soon, but I really enjoyed it a lot. I had so much fun reading it, and it flew by. I was afraid to read it because all the books are really thick, and there's like 8 books in the series right now with more coming. So I was a little afraid to start the series, and I was afraid it was going to take me a long time to read the book, but the first one flew by because it was just so fast-paced and fun. So I'm excited to read the next one. I want to see what happens, and it says on the front here, perfect for fans of Harry Potter, and I feel like that is the absolute perfect description for it because it gave me the vibes of how I felt when I very first read Harry Potter, which I haven't felt like that in a while. So that was a lot of fun. This series is about this girl who is super, super smart. She's like, I think 12. I think she's 12 years old in this series. And she's always felt out of place. On top of that, she also is able to hear people's thoughts. And so she's always having to deal with headaches and like hearing like lots of jumbled thoughts all the time from other people. And then she ends up finding out that she's actually an elf. She's not a human at all. And she ends up getting taken to this other dimension or world where she is going to be with other people that are like her. And then she starts going to a magic school and all that kind of stuff. So very Harry Potter-ish. And I really, really love it. It's so fun. So I'm excited to see what happens in this next one. Also, there is like, what do you call this? It's a Pegasus, but it's also a unicorn. Is it a pegacorn? I don't know. But I don't know. This just looks like a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to continue the series. I may try to read one a month for a while to try to get through the series because I'm really enjoying it. All right, next up. This one just feels wintry to me, and also sounds very like heartfelt, and I'm just in the mood to read that for February. And that is The Boy, the Bird, and the Coffin Maker by Matilda Woods. That is very, very hard to see. There we go. Okay. I know it's going to kind of blur out again, and I'm sorry. It's a very bright colored cover. All I know about this story is we're following this guy who lives in this small village, and he is the coffin maker in this village, and he's very lonely, and then he ends up meeting this little boy, and they become unlikely friends, and I think it's supposed to be really heartwarming, and it sounds wonderful. So I'm all about the middle grade books. It might have some magical stuff in it too. I don't know. I'm very excited about it. I just love me some feel-good middle grade. So I'm all about that. All right, let's see. Okay, those are all my other ones. All right, I got one more to talk about. This one seems like it's absolutely perfect for February because it literally has the word heart in the title. I've been wanting to read this one for so long, and that is Alice by Heart by Stephen Sater. This book is, I'm not sure if the book was written first or the play was written first, but I think this book is based on the play, the stage play, Alice by Heart, which I've never seen. I just heard about this book first, and it sounded really fascinating. So it takes place during World War II, I believe, and there's this little boy and this girl, and the boy is dying from tuberculosis, I think, and him and his best friend, this girl, they end up having to kind of like hunker down together in a bunker. Wow, I messed that up. During an air raid, and he is ailing and dying, and their favorite story that they both love is Alice in Wonderland. And so she starts telling him the story of Alice in Wonderland again, to kind of take his mind off what's happening and just to connect again through their favorite story. And then I think the lines start to blur between reality and fantasy as she's telling the story, and like some of Alice in Wonderland or Wonderland starts to seep into where they're hiding. And I don't know, it just sounds really fascinating. It sounds like a blur between Alice in Wonderland and like a historical fiction, which sounds like such a fascinating idea. So I'm really excited to read this. I have a feeling it probably will be pretty hard-hitting. It might make me cry, I don't know. But I love Alice in Wonderland so much. It's probably my favorite children's classic. And I'm excited to see what they do with it in this kind of like historical fiction setting. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. So those are all the books I hope to read in February. We'll see what happens. There's quite a few books here. A few of them are a little bit short, so maybe I might get to most of them. It would be a miracle if I got to all of them. I would love to. But those are, that's everything I'm planning to read. Let me know down below what you're planning to read in February. If you have any plans, let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned today. If you don't know what to say, but you want to say hi, do a book stack emoji down there to just give me some good vibes to be like, get through that stack, you can get through that TBR. Just let me know I can do it, because I hope I can. On the side of the video over here is my logo. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel and follow me on my book journey. On the side of the video over here is a suggestion for another video if you'd like to watch another one right now. But thank you so much for watching. You rock. And don't forget to keep reading. Bye.